I'm not one to give up so easily. So in this episode, we try one last time to try to get this truck going. And if we can't, then I don't know. I give up. Better not make me look bad this time. I swear, man. Well, it still looks the same. There was some work that was done to it, but I don't know what they did. So let's look around and see what we find. So I'm gonna start by taking out all of the smog stuff. And for all you guys that are saying, well, don't you need that stuff to pass smog in California? Yes. So I'm gonna be keeping it. And let me show you where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna keep it in that can right there for later use. That is, I mean, it says trash, but it's not for trash. That's smog stuff. So the smog stuff for these 80s 460 engines consists of the actual air pump here. There's the canister thing. There's a bunch of vacuum lines. There's this tube. There's an EGR valve back there. And then this one has a different, like a carburetor base plate. Let me get a screwdriver and then we'll get started on this. Let's start by taking out all of these hoses that we're not gonna need anymore, or at least until we smog the thing. Wink, wink. Okay, I got that one. There's one down here. Here's one mass of things. So these two went to the charcoal canisters that are down there. These ones are just jumbled up. These ones went to the carburetor. So into our holding bucket. So far, hey, you know what? It's looking better already. A lot better. Next, let's take off this one. So these pumps were actually put in here before they started putting catalytic converters, just to help out with smog stuff. And then as soon as they started adding catalytic converters, they took these things out. So here's another tube into the bucket. Let's take off this thing. Okay, let's try to get this smog pump out of here. We'll take off this last tube on the back of it. Okay, let's try to get this smog pump off. You need a 9/16 and some of your ham fists, and it should loosen up pretty easily. It doesn't want to leave, so you're gonna have to use some more persuasion. And we're free. All right, now let's try to get all that crap back there. So this one's connected to the exhaust. Then I'm gonna have to take this off and plug it somehow. I'll figure that out right now. This part is some wires from that. Just tuck these over here. This is another wire. You know what? I might need this. So I need a 12-volt source for this. Let's get the carb off. And we can get to the base plate. I think that's everything. Let's take this thing off. Careful with it. Oh, there's a lot of fuel down there. And this thing's not even on. Gotta figure out what to do with that. And by that, I mean this hole that's right here. I think I have an idea though. First, let me get this thing off over here. Okay, so if you have this one, you might want to use some leverage. And I'm getting a pipe wrench and some leverage here. Oh, there it goes. All right, it's loose. Get this thing the rest of the way out. Nice. It's out. I'm gonna have to find something to plug this and this. For this one right here, I have an idea. Let's see if this will work. So my idea for this hole here is to remember that it's a hole. So if you want to plug a hole, you need to give it some threads. This one, it's pretty good. 7/8. So that's, I don't know, actually. Okay, we're gonna take a different approach. So this thing is the base plate to the carburetor, which goes right here, right? This piece right here. The exhaust comes up in here, goes out the EGR. So what I was trying to do is plug this hole. If I can't figure out how to plug it, I can plug this. So I soak these in WD-40, and I'm going to take this thing off, and then we'll find some scrap metal and make a plug for the back of that. Put this thing back on. Actually, we need to find a gasket for this because we don't have a gasket for the bottom. So we'll buy a gasket for this, sit this thing on, and for this piece back here, we'll just plug it, and we'll be good. So let's try to break these bolts. Actually, let's try to take these bolts off. I really don't want to break them, but who knows? Let's give it a shot. Hey, they actually came off. Holy shit. That was surprising. We got it off. Let's go find some scrap metal for this. Here in my dad's workshop. Luckily, we have plenty of scrap metal to choose from. Let's find ourselves a good contender, and we'll get that thing prepped. Should work. Seems to be about the right size. Okay, let's trace this thing. Make sure we're all the way on. Here we go. Where's the grader at? Okay, one trip to the store later, we got some parts. We have a 3/4 plug. This is like a gas line one, and this one's gonna plug that hole over there. And we have the proper gasket, $6. Not too bad. Okay, so let's put this gasket on. There we go. With the little cutout, whatever. So now we can put this EGR thing that we plugged up in its spot. Then we can put the carburetor on. Let's put that plug on first, actually. If you're ever wondering what socket to use with one of these 3/4 ones, it's a 19. Thread it on a little bit as far as it'll go. Just take a 19, thread it the rest of the way.
Alright, we got that black back piece plugged up. I just readjusted the carburetor, and by readjust, I mean that I just made sure that the transfer slot on the bottom was still square. Okay, so I forgot a gasket, and then I looked around and I found some new studs, the carburetor studs, so those on. So let's try this again. Carburetor is adjusted. Now we can sit this thing on here. Oh man, why do I keep getting hurt, man? And then I forgot the carburetor adapter. And here goes this thing. Here goes this, then goes this one. Man, it's already 2 cuts today. Ford really doesn't want to get fixed, man. I'm gonna tighten these bolts down and then I'll come back. We got all the EGR shit out of here. We put a Mr. Gaskets breather over there. We plugged that back hole over there. The EGR in the back of this right there is plugged up. All of the lines that aren't being used are plugged. This one that goes this way is for the distributor. With the fuel line back on there, I have a timing gun here. So we're going to try to see if the timing is right. From what the internet says, this thing should be at about 10 to 14, and then like 30 total. Don't know what that means, but let's figure it out. Let's try to turn this thing on and see what happens. Oh, and since this one has an electric choke, we got 12 volts keyed to it. So whenever it turns on, it can actually, you know, do the whole choke thing. Alright, it doesn't want to stay on, so I think there's a timing issue. Let's try to keep that first. Let's advance the timing a little bit. And then we'll try it again. I think advance on these Fords is that way. Actually, I think it's the other way. Let's try it. Let's try this. getting closer, but I also think that this would be a lot easier if there was another person here for me. Let's help. Let's try all the way this way and see what that does. All over it again. Try it again. Like that. Let's put it here and we'll try it again.
Everything's connected now. We have everything plugged up. We have a breather back there in the back corner. We have a plug over there. We plugged all of the vacuum things over here. We have the old Lone Wolf 6000 here and a timing light. Let's see if we can figure this out. I put some wrenches on the carburetor. That way I can keep it from, stalling out. It's supposed to have, I think, like 10 to 14 degrees initial and like 30 total. So let's see if we can get that. If not, then I don't know what I'm doing, which is pretty much accurate. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see if it works. Let's try it out. It's a few days later. Got the carburetor on there. We're timed. We're at 14 degrees. I don't know if you can see it, but right at 14, which is good at an idle. Let's see if we can bump it up a little bit. So we're at that's 24. Oh, too much. I like 15. Let's set it at 15. Close it off. There we go. 15. Idle's pretty good. Let's hear it accelerate. Perfect. I like it. Now I just gotta screw down that distributor so it doesn't move, and we're good. It's sitting pretty good, man. This old truck might run again.
Okay, let's put some finishing touches on this thing. Finishing touches. Oh, let's see. Sideways? No. Okay. Alright. now for the real test. Let's see if this thing will drive. Hoping it does. So last time it left me stranded. So let's find out. Put this thing in reverse. So far so good. I'm gonna stay in the house this time. I'm not gonna try to leave. I need to drop off some trash that's laying in the bed too anyway. Trash can. It's over here. Let me check. You know what though? Power steering is squealing, but it's not bad. Let me clean out the bed and then maybe we'll take it out for a drive on the road. Hopefully that's not a mistake. Remember earlier that I said we got the timing done right and now we have to tighten it down? I forgot to do that. It's when I was driving around right now. It was dying because I think the distributor started walking around, so let's do this again. Choke right now. That looks good. Well, I guess it doesn't like the choke. Why is that? You guys are watching, you guys probably know quite a bit now that I have no idea why. So let's figure something else out. Let's see if this has anything to do with it, because I don't know if you can see that on that side. Let me put it on the other side. Okay, now that you can see on this side, the throttle with the whole linkage and everything, it sits behind it quite a bit. So whenever I have to connect it, I have to push it back and connect it. So then what that does is that it actually pushes this forward. I don't really need it to do that. How could I do it so I can spring back but not be forced so much forward? What if I can just cut some springs out of this? Is there a way to adjust this? Let's just try it with no choke at all. See what that does. You know what? First, let me tighten this stupid bolt. Last thing I need is for the distributor to be walking around again. Okay, distributor is good. Let's try this again. Hey, you guys gotta be careful, man. You guys fall all over the place. Let's put you guys on either side where you guys are safe. That's weird. So I gave this truck 15 degrees advance, and it started to go, and then now that the engine's heated up and everything, it's starting to die quite a bit. It doesn't want to hold idle, and the RPMs are getting really low, like they'll stop dropping and then it just cuts itself off. And right now when I try to turn it back on, it just doesn't turn on right now. And I did start hearing a little bit of a hissing sound, so I'm not sure what that is, but I'm going to check that out. At this point I have no idea what's going on, and rather than just poke and get frustrated, I'm just going to leave it alone for a little bit, and I'll leave it up to you guys. Put in the comments what do you guys think is going on with this thing, and if I'll read those things through and then I'll try them out. Maybe if you guys have already dealt with this stuff before. This is a 460 in this Ford. I took off all the smog stuff and I put the timing to 15 degrees without the distributor. That should be fine from what I read in all of the forums and stuff, but who knows? Maybe I need a new timing chain, because I did read that too. So we'll figure that stuff out. But as for now, this video is getting long, and I'm pretty frustrated, so I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna clean up some stuff here and then just go sit under a tree somewhere and relax. That's your mental health moment. Go and relax. Take some time for yourself. I'll see you guys next time.